Alright, welcome back. We're working on 551 Dovetail Slide again today. Let's zoom in on the drawing example. We know our base is going to be 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. So let's go ahead and go to Inventor and create a base 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. I've already started an inch drawing. Start a 2D sketch. We'll start off with a rectangle, 2 1/2, tab 4.25 for 4 1/4. Let me get back to my drawing example to make sure that's what my sizes were. 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. Yep, that's exactly what I was. I'm going to hit enter and hit stop or top. Now remember, these dimensions will be seen as constraints if you don't go ahead and take them out. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and finish our sketch. Hit extrude. Now let's get back to our drawing and look what the bottom part of this drawing is actually supposed to be, how thick that's supposed to be. The base thickness is 3/4 of an inch. The whole height of this is over 2 inches. So let's keep on going here. 3/4 of an inch for our base thickness. 0.75. Hit OK. I'm going to hit the center of my top. Start a 2D sketch. We're going to draw right on this surface right here. I know automatically, because I've already looked at it, that this front part here, this line right here is a 1/2 inch back. Tells me B is a 1/2 inch. I know both of my angles are 45 degrees. I know this opening is right in the center. So let's go back here and work on this. The easiest way to do that is to come in here, get your line tool, come back here, make sure your line's staying at 90 degrees, 0.5, enter, come down, make sure your line's locked in at 90 degrees. Be 2 1/2. Hit escape. Hit the center of your top. Now what we want to do is we want to go from our midpoint of this line right here forward. Go ahead and take your dimensions out. Go ahead and do it now instead of doing it later. Now this line up here at the top, we know it's 45 degrees. Now 45 degrees plus 90 is 135. So let's tab over 135, tab back, connect your line. Well, excuse me, I did something wrong there. That's not where that 45 degree line is supposed to be. Supposed to be 1/4 inch, 0.25 away from here, because the opening is 1/2 inch. 0.25. That's our opening there. Let's take our dimension out. I got ahead of myself there. Now my angle line comes back here. Tab over at 135. We just touch that line. Alright, I don't know what's going on. My computer must be starting to freeze up here. Let's tab over and do 135. Let's tab back. There we go. There we go. Those constraints, those automatic constraints sometimes give you a hard time. We'll come down here. You notice this was actually going to be 45 degrees when we tab over. And then we'll come back and touch that line right there. Delete our dimensions as a constraint. Delete this line in the middle here. That line. Now, let's go ahead and finish our sketch. Now, you'll notice when we want to go to extrude this, it's extruding instead of cutting. We cut it, it'll go 0.75 and take it back to back ways, and it'll cut it out. Now let's go back here. We're actually going to, I know I'm going to start on this surface right here. I'm actually going to start from this corner and come back this direction. So let's go back to our drawing here. So I know E to D, I know D to C, and I know I have an idea of what C to this line right here is. I know D to E is 3/4, C to D is 1.5. I know this is about 1/2 inch. So we're about 3 1/4 inches in. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. Two 2.5 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to do 2.5. Tab 3.25. Because I know that just by the look at the front of that from here to here, that's about 1 inch. That's why I assumed that was there. And I realize we don't do certain things like assume, but we also have to be able to verify what we're doing here. All right? So let's go back to our height again. Look at our height. We know the base is 3/4. We know the whole height of this is 2.5. So if the base is 3/4, what is the rest that we got to do here for a height of 2? It's 1 1/4. So 1.25. And there you go. Now, we could have drawn everything in that rectangle, but sometimes it just makes it easier to do it all from where it needs to be. So let's go here and look at the middle. I know everything's on this center line. I know my first hole coming from the D to E is 3/4, and then from D to C is 1.5. So let's go ahead and mark that off on our line. So we're coming in 0.75, making sure we're at 90 degrees. Next line is 1.5, making sure we're at 180 degrees. 180 degrees, 90 degrees, whatever it's saying, it's a straight line. Let's go ahead and delete our dimensions. We should have drawn a flag, but that actually the end of that line. Our holes are actually, let's go to our holes, look at what our holes are. Our circles are 1/2 diameter. So 0.5. And then 0.5. Now, let's just go back and make sure everything is right. So holes are a 1/2 inch diameter. No, it says holes that are 5/8 of diameter, excuse me. It says A is 1/2 inch. I'm wrong on that one, excuse me. Don't make mistakes, but when I make mistakes, it's I make a mistake, it's usually a big one, 0.625. Yeah, I thought those holes didn't look right, so I wanted to go back and make sure they were right. .625. And again, we delete the dimensions to keep it from causing any constraint problems. All right, we're going to finish our sketch. Now, before we've been using the extrude method, why don't we use the hole method on this? Hit it to center. It's already picking up the diameter of the hole is 0.625, and it's going all the way through. You can actually flip it over and make sure it's going all the way through, and hit OK. And then that's it of the 550 dovetail slide. So go ahead and File, Save As, or Save. And remember, I downloaded one and I'm having to change it every time I do it now. So figure 550 dovetail slide. Well, if I hadn't been holding the shift key down, I would have been able to get that first 5. Figure 550 dovetail slide. Control. Let's go ahead and put it in our documents. Go to save. I want to replace the one I've already got, so hit yes. So looks like I'm going to have to give it a dovetail slide too. And I know, not the active project. Alright, so that's it, guys. Need some help, just ask.